Byron Buxton, Twins legend. If the Patriots don't tag J.C. Jackson, who could sign him? Everybody? A player of J.C. Jackson's caliber at corner does not hit the open market. Talk about the money positions, your high-impact, high-paid guys. QB, offensive tackle, edge rusher, cornerback, and receiver. Jackson, he might get $20 million a year, guys, if he hits the open market. Which is why it makes no sense for to not tag him. Tag him and trade him. You'd find something, I promise you. Teams that could fit. They have a need and some money, potentially. The Las Vegas Raiders. Seattle has a big-time need. The Jets, I would love that position. The Pittsburgh Steelers. The Niners are a bit tighter on money, but you trade Jimmy Garoppolo and give it to J.C. Jackson. And that's a lot of fun. So what do you guys think? Where will J.C. Jackson sign in free agency? Drop a team. It can be your favorite one in the comments right now. From Optimus Negative, thoughts on Nicholas Petit-Frere? Up and down and consistent. Good run blocker. I'd argue better on the right side back in 2020 than he is currently. But on day 2, that left tackle, right tackle flex will carry plenty of value. Somebody's going to draft him. I am very curious, by the way, how he measures at the NFL Combine, but he's inconsistent still, and I thought he should have gone to the Senior Bowl. I was a bit disappointed he did not. I thought that would have been a good experience for him. Some teams on day 2 to watch out for. The Giants as a right tackle option, since they got Andrew Thomas on the left side. Seattle, either side. Denver, LA, and Atlanta. I think all pretty solid fits given the uncertainty, short-term, long-term, at the right tackle spot. I think that's where I'd play him. I don't want him on the left side like he played this year. I think he's better on the right side. We'll see how he tests. I think that would be a big deal for his draft stock.
All right, y'all, if I didn't get to your question, if I missed it, I'm sorry. We got over 300 people watching right now. Remember, you can always hit me up on Instagram. You can hit me up on Twitter. I'm at Mitchell Renz 365. Let's go to Beggar52. Thoughts on the Seahawks bringing back Jadeveon Clowney? I think it actually makes a lot of sense. If I was Clowney and I'd sit here and say, okay, which team do I actually think I was the most successful with recently? It would actually probably be Seattle. He would fit in that defense well. I know a lot of the people for the Seahawks would love him to have him back. It's just, what does Clowney want to take? Because if you ask Clowney, he still probably thinks he's a top 5, top 10 overall edge rusher or defensive end. He's a good player. He actually think he might be a little bit underrated to the national public because he doesn't get a lot of sacks, but he's been really good against the run. But Clowney going to Seattle, I think it actually does make a lot of sense. Here would be my question, and I'm glad producer Jeff's throwing this up on screen. Is Russell Wilson going to be on the Seahawks next year? Because if Wilson's going to be on the Seahawks next year, then you continue to try to win. You bring in somebody like a Jadeveon Clowney. If Wilson's not going to be on the team, then I say you go to a rebuild. You try to stack up your salary cap. You try to stack up some of those draft picks, which you do not have, and go ahead. So if you're typing your Y for yes, bring on some big players. Because as long as Russ is under center in Seattle, that team has a chance to win. If he's not, then my answer would be, well, you go ahead, you fold up shop, and hope for a better future.
ECK Sports, possible teams for Hassan Reddick. I think Seattle would be a great destination. Any team that needs a pass rusher, and there are a lot of them, should have interest in Hassan Reddick. The number one fit, though, as far as I'm concerned, he should just go back to Carolina. Like, they need him, and I think should want him, opposite Brian Burns. It'd be a fantastic 1-2 punch, just like it was this past year. I'd go that route. Maybe the Jets or Giants, if they want some more pass rush help. Both those teams would be, I would argue, good fits. But any team that needs a pass rusher, it's a good route to go explore. Taylor Holland, 2 questions. Okay. Best small school player that could go a little bit earlier than expected. And better comp. Devin Lloyd to Darius Leonard or Nakobe Dean to Roquan Smith like impact. I like to do my player comps based on like size and measurables. I think they're all actually pretty decent. I think that Lloyd will test better than Darius Leonard ended up testing this past year. Looking for, so I'll go Dean and Roquan, and just in terms of obviously if you get either of those guys, you're super hyped. Small school guy who's going to go earlier than expected. How early does Christian Watson go out of North Dakota State, the receiver? He could go maybe early day 2. Other very small school guys I could see going early. Trying trying to think of like maybe names we haven't mentioned before at all here on the channel. Does Tyler Algier count as a small score? Is BYU? Probably not. You know? Trevor Penning, we all know he's going to go earlier, so I can't count him from that perspective. But he's a small school, but we're talking earlier than expected. Now, if he goes top 10, I think that'd be earlier. I mentioned Tariq Woolen out of UTSA in my mock draft. I think that's a decent name there. How about Troy Anderson, linebacker from Montana State? Impressed very well at the at the Senior Bowl, and I think will measure well at the Combine as well.
So another quarterback that's got a lot of drama around him, as always, is Baker Mayfield. And is he going to be with the Browns in 2022? Go ahead and type your Y for yes, or you can go ahead and type your N for no. If you want to get a question about Baker Mayfield on the show, the way to do it is use hashtag NFL. Will the Browns have Baker Mayfield? Kind of frame it like that. So Y for yes, N for no. Will Baker Mayfield be with the Browns? So St. Patrick's Day, this might be breaking news to some of y'all. It's March 17th every single year. Every single year. Harrison Graham. So if you guys want to go ahead and get some awesome St. Patrick's Day gear for your favorite NFL team, go to chatsports.com/NFLgreen. Every year, and I'm not kidding you when I say this, every year, my girlfriend looks at me and goes, "What do you want to do for St. Patrick's Day?" I'm like, "I don't care. We can do whatever." She's like, "What are you going to wear?" I don't have anything green. I'm going to be honest with you. I never wear anything green. You know what I will wear, though? If it's Raiders-centric or if it's my favorite team or player, I'm going to rep that. And I can then go ahead and rep that on St. Patty's Day. So if you plan on going to a parade, if you plan on going to a party, if you plan on just getting schmacked, then you might as well do it in your favorite team's gear. So go to chatsports.com/NFLgreen. We got all sorts of stuff, not just the stuff you saw up on screen. But here's the thing, y'all. It's going to go quick, and if you want to get it before St. Patty's Day, you got to go to chatsports.com/NFLgreen. What position is taking the most the first round of the draft? So which position gets taken the most in the first round of the NFL draft? I'll say offensive tackle, because I could see 5 offensive tackles going in the first round. Quarterback's always going to be thrown out there. Wide receiver, we could see 6 wide receivers go. You know what? I'm gonna go wide receiver. That's going to be my answer. I could see 6 receivers going in the first round of the 2022 NFL Draft.
For nonstop coverage of NFL free agency, draft, trades, and more, hit that big red button and subscribe today. It is all free here on Chat Sports, and it always will be. So if you haven't already, subscribe right now. From Blood Wolf, thoughts on Drake Jackson for USC? You're banking on the upside. I got my notes done here. I got a second-ish round grade, at least before Combine and stuff. He cut down his weight, dropped 25 pounds his freshman year. The production's always been kind of middling as well, but he's got bend and burst. He's young. He only turns 21 in April. There are flashes of those elite traits, but I don't trust him right now against the run, and he's got to add more power. So I think you gamble on that type of player in day 2. I hated how much USC dropped him into coverage. That was stupid by the Trojans, but I think there's upside there of a nice round 2 pick who emerges as a potential really solid edge 2 in the NFL.
All right, y'all, it's your turn to take a guess here. Where will OBJ sign this offseason? He's one of the top wide receivers in free agency. I have him ranked at number 4. Unfortunately, though, for him, he did tear his ACL in the Super Bowl. I almost said national championship game. Where is my head at? So where will OBJ sign this offseason?
Devin Greathouse, where do you think Watson will sign, you mean be traded to? I don't know. I think Carolina will go all in on him this offseason, but they are a bit light on draft capital. The Eagles and Giants have the picks. Do they want him? There's a lot of concern on that front for Deshaun. He's still, as weird as it's been, in a holding pattern for the past year-ish at this point.
Final question here. It's a super chat coming up from Taylor Holland. Best value free agent signing of the last 5 years that made the biggest impact and the most overplayed and bust of the last 5 years. Yikes. So the best value free agent signing of the last 5 years, dude, I'd have to really sit down. And most overpaid and bust of the last 5 years, well, the name that comes to my mind right away from a Raiders standpoint is Trent Brown, because they made him the highest paid tackle. They put him on the right side, essentially paid him $76,000 per snap. So that's an absolute bust. in terms of the most overpaid, can anybody think of a super overpaid or underpaid free agent? That's the thing. Zeke wasn't that. Let me come back to me. Message me on Instagram, Taylor. I'll try to give you a better answer, but going back to the past 5 years is never an easy thing to do.